Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Heartbeat.
Morning.
Morning. We have such an awesome show, and everyone's on this call. I'm so excited. It's like a jam-packed show because it's a Father's Day special. And before I introduce everyone, and good morning, everyone, I'm a daddy's girl, so there wasn't any doubt in my mind that I didn't want to do a Father's Day special. And to pick the folks that are on with me today, and Dave, including you are one of our special guests today.
Am I?
You are. You don't
I'm a
really
special
know that,
guest.
but you are. Yes.
Oh,
you're steering the ship and you're special guest.
If I'd known that, I'd have made an effort. I'd have put my shirt and tie on.
I know. Your tuxedo, right?
Instead of sat here in my Bermuda shorts and my vest.
Oh my gosh. So today we have Ryan Hartley, Jason Wood, Shae Mcmaster, and Dave Hailwood for our Father's Day special. Welcome, everyone.
Hey, guys.
Morning,
Hey,
chaps.
thanks.
You're looking amazing. You look better than me, you lot down there, I tell you.
I think Ryan and you are the only ones that are like midday. All the rest of us are like early morning, still drinking our coffee, all that kind of business. So, yes. So let's get rolling because I know we have a limited time today. And I want to, like I said, I wanted to bring everyone on and talk about Father and Father's Day. And I picked these wonderful people. Ryan has 2 kids. Jason has a daughter. And Shae has one on the way in July. And Dave also has a daughter. So
I've got one, but there's about 53 that could be knocking about somewhere. So, but that's only a rumour. So.
Oh my goodness. This is going to be a fun Father's Day special. So I'm wondering, can each one of you just briefly reintroduce yourself, since all of you have been on my show before? And then if your child has a nickname, that would be awesome if you wanted to share that. So we'll start with you, Jason.
Hey, yeah, my name's Jason Wood. I live here in Virginia Beach, Virginia area in the United States. I have one daughter. She's 4 years old. She turns 5 in September. She graduates preschool this Friday, in fact, and her name is Camilla. And I was in the military. I'm a military Army combat veteran. Spent 7 years in the United States Army, got out, became a defense contractor, and I also do, I guess you could call it, I'm a pro obstacle course racer on the side. But that's me.
Oh, what?
Awesome.
Say, what do you race again? What?
Oh,
back up on that one. I want to know more about that bit there.
Yeah, so if you have ever seen like Spartan races, Tough Mudders, those kind of different obstacle course races, they're basically trail runs that can run from anywhere to 3 miles to 30 miles plus. And they have they throw obstacles like the monkey bars, tire flips.
Oh, right. I know what you mean now. I know what you mean. I do that every morning. Those are what I'm on every morning before I'm on here. I know it well.
We all do that every morning. We all do that. Every morning we get up and flip some tires.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, welcome, Jason. And Ryan?
Yeah, good morning. So I've been on a couple of times with you, haven't I, Chris? And it's a pleasure to be back. Thanks for having me. It's Ryan Hartley coming from England. And I've got 2 little ones. I've got Corey, who's 6.5, and I've got Brooke, who's 4, who definitely keep me busy. What are their nicknames? So always used to call Corey Bear, and Brooke is Brookie Cookie. And it's fair to say they both hate their names with a passion. They do not like being called Corey Bear and Brookie Cookie, so obviously I call them it every day.
That's funny because my dad used to, I think still does, calls me Britzel Bratzer. I have
There's
no
a story
idea.
there.
Does he really? Sure. There's got to be a story behind that somewhere.
I'll have to ask him at some point what that's all about. Oh my gosh, thank you, Ryan. Welcome. And Shae, you have your first one coming in less than a month, right? Or about a month.
Yes, the due date is July 22nd. So we don't have a nickname completely picked out yet, but we think we're going to go with the name Quinn.
Nice.
We're going to go with Quinny the Pooh.
Quality.
Perfect.
I was just thinking, actually, that name that Christine's got, that nickname, I think that must have been given. Well, your mum and dad didn't go on it. You weren't conceived on an Austrian ski slope, were you? and it was named after the resort.
Oh my goodness! And Dave, you have a daughter.
Yes, she's 73 now, going on 12. But, yeah, flipping it drives me up the wall. I'm like Spider-Man. No, she's a good girl, bless her. I've only ever told her off once. After that, she was scared to death, so she's never done anything wrong ever since. But dead easy. It's easy. Thing is, with French kids, they're low maintenance. You put the fear of God up, and when they're about 3, you never hear a boo from them again. They don't know what confrontation is. That's how we won the war for them back in the day. So that's the mentality of them.
Oh my God. Oh my gosh. This is going to be an awesome show. I'm so excited. I have some fun questions to ask, but let's take a quick break. And when we come back, we'll keep going. But we're going to listen to Seal, Kiss from a Rose, and we'll be right back on the Father's Day special. That is such a fantastic song. It just takes me back. Welcome back to The Heartbeat, everyone. On the Father's Day special today, I have with me some awesome folks today. Ryan Hartley, Jason Wood, Shae Mcmaster, and our very own Dave Hailwood talking about fatherhood. And so I have a few questions, some fun questions, and just some comments. So I can tell that every one of you, your children are pretty much your why in life, and they play a big role. And we could go deep into like that, and we will. I just have some fun questions first that I really want to sort of talk about. And I think one of them, and Ryan, I'm going to pick on you just a little bit, but could you just tell us some fun dad jokes? Because I think you have some. Because that's kind of your deal.
Absolutely, and as long as my kids never hear this, because it will embarrass them for life. But
that's perfect.
Like, one of my best ones, I'm going to put it out there. How do you get Pikachu on a bus?
Oh gosh. Anyone?
Not a clue.
I don't know.
Not a clue.
Your Pokemon.
Hey, that was a bit quick. I like that.
Why can't you hear the pterodactyl going to the toilet?
I know this one.
Because he's got a silent P.
Yeah.
Yes, I do laugh at my own jokes.
And that's great.
That's the best I've got, I'm afraid.
I thought the answer to that was going to be he's got cystitis.
Oh my God. So, speaking of embarrassing, like, Jason, what are some of the things that your daughter would say? God, Dad, God.
Fortunately, she's at that age where I haven't done anything too crazy embarrassing, I guess, for her. I think she's going to start getting there very soon, like seeing that she's going in elementary school and all that fun stuff. So I'm not looking forward to the moment where it's Dad dropping me off around the corner so my friends don't see me with you kind of thing. I got a feeling that's going to come sooner rather than later. But no, I don't know. I haven't done anything to really embarrass her where she said that to me yet. So hopefully I can keep that streak alive right now. But good. I know it's coming where it's going to be the drop me off around the corner. Dad, don't make me say I love you out loud in front of my friends, kind of stuff.
Right. Oh my gosh, Dave, anything embarrassing that your daughter would be like, oh.
Just a minute, I'm going through the book here of which one to pick. There was one last year. We were down at the beach on a Sunday. We were down at the beach, me and her, having father and daughter time, going for a swim, and the beach was packed. It was in July, and the next minute she's 11, going on 12. But she's got this. That girls that age, they've obviously got the mentality of about an 18-year-old, so that she's there checking her nails and making sure she's looking the part on the beach and everything in a bikini. And the next minute, I've gone walking down. I said, "Come on, we'll go for a swim." So we've gone down to the edge of the water, and I start wading in, and I'm thinking, "Where is she?" And the next minute, I've turned around. I'm into the water. I'm up to my waist high, and I'm just starting to fall back to start, for the water temperature to get your nut cluster, used to it. And the next minute, I look back, and this lad stood talking to her at the edge of the water. And I thought, who is that from nowhere? And so I'm watching it, and I'm swimming backwards, watching what's going on. And And the next minute, you know, at some point, I said, "Hey, get in here now." So she's come in. She got into the water, swam over to me. She went, "Papa, what are you doing?" I said, "What are you doing, you?" I said, "Who's that you're talking to?" She said, "Oh, his name's Guillaume." I said, "Guillaume, where's he from?" She said, "Nantes." I went, "All right." She said, how old's he then?" She said, 14. I went, "Right, and you're 11, so what does she think's going on here then?" So I'm watching him like a hawk. So he's come in, followed us, right, and there's all these speedboats and everything moored around us and moored up. And the thing is, you can swim out and climb up on the boats and sunbathe on the boats, you see, which most people do. People that own the boats haven't got a clue that you're doing that, but most people do it. So I'm watching this kid, and he swam past me, and I'm watching him like a hawk. I'm thinking, "I'll bloody break your legs, lad." She's only 11. So the next minute, he's climbed up on this boat, and he's sunbathing on this boat. And the next thing is, what I didn't realise, well, I realised it, but I don't think anybody else did. He took his shorts off and put them at the side, lay them at the side of the boat, while he's sunbathing naked on the boat.
Oh,
right?
gosh.
So I thought, right, you little bugger. So I've clocked this. So Elise is swimming around still. So I've gone over and grabbed his shorts without him knowing, right, and put them on the back of the boat, on the engine on the back of the boat, and just put them there. So then a bit later on, we've swum back up, you know, got out of the sea, gone back up to the top at where the towels are and everything on the beach, and she's there, you know, putting sun cream on herself and what have you, and I'm half lying there on my elbows watching at some point when he's going to clock that his shorts out there, you see. So at some point, I don't know how much longer, obviously, he's made a move, and then you can see this panic happening on the front of this speedboat. With his hand round his plums, trying to cover everything up, looking for these shorts. So he's thinking, obviously, they've gone in the sea.
Oh, he is scarred for life, Dave.
So I ended up having to, you know, I did the right thing. I swam out and got the trunks off the back of the boat, and he's still on the front of the boat, thinking, "How on earth do I get back to the beach?" so I've given him the shorts back, and I said, "There you go." So I said, "Just one thing. Now, my daughter's only 11. I said, if I catch you talking to her again, I said, you won't get the shorts back."
Oh, mortified.
Absolutely and he went, "We miss you. So he just put them on, and then he swam back quicker than a great white shark back up to the front of the beach, and then he disappeared. I don't know where he went after that.
Oh, my God. Oh, my God. Shae, do you see what you have to look forward to?
I can't wait. I would do, I think, the exact same thing in my situation.
Oh my God.
There'll be young lads all over France and America now. When they go to the beach, they'll be panicking, thinking, "My God, I better keep my shorts on. I won't be taking them off if I go."
That's exactly what we want them to think.
Oh, my God. Oh, my God. Oh, my gosh. Well, we need to take a quick break, and we have an awesome song coming up, and then I have some more questions. And this is a great – thank you, Dave, for sharing that story. That was really funny. Let's listen to Dance with My Father by Luther Vandross, and we'll be right back with our Father's Day special. Oh, my gosh. That song just takes me back to when I was a little girl, even though I wasn't a little girl when it came out, but it makes me think of that. Like I said, I'm a daddy's girl. I can't help it. So welcome back to the Heartbeat for the Father's Day special. Dave, thanks again for steering the boat and driving the boat. I really appreciate you this morning.
Very well.
So I have a question. We were talking a little bit on break, and so one of the questions that I know Shae and Jason and I talked about pre-show, and we just talked about now, is what do our kids have? Like, what, as a child, did we have that our kids are not going to have today? And Ryan, has a brilliant answer. And so, Ryan, you want to talk a little bit about what we were just talking about?
Yeah, sure. I mean, one of the things that, just thinking back, is that I had this sense of privacy, and I didn't really get that. It's not really obvious thinking about it as a child, but what my kids don't have right now is privacy, because everything is social media. And I guess that's a little bit of my fault, because I'm using kind of social media to kind of document my journey as a father, and as well as their own growth. So they really aren't getting the privacy. I mean, all the stupid things I would have done as a kid, like, no one's ever going to know that now, because like there is no evidence of it. But we shared a story about my son, didn't we, about something that happened to him, and what's the first thing I instinctively do? Share it with the world. Poor kid. Like, so yeah, the privacy is the thing that they unfortunately do not have in today's world.
Yeah, that story cracks me up, so I'm going to tell it. So on Instagram, poor Corey, who thinks it would be funny just to fart, and of course Dad is videoing this, and instead he sharts, and it's this funny little, he's running to the bathroom outside from the park, and right.
Oh my God! Anyone having dinner now? Just hold your ears.
It's just the look on his face. It's just the sheer panic in the moment when he realized.
Don't panic, Mr. Manning! Don't panic!
Oh my gosh. And he's like, Dad, stop. And you're like, nope.
This is gold.
Ken, this is living on forever. Yeah.
Oh my God. So, and then I know when Shae and Jason and I were talking, we were talking about things about like cassette tapes and those sorts of things. And Jason, you were saying your daughter really doesn't know what like a DVD is, right?
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, like, we're just the technology piece. I mean, go hand in hand with the social media piece now. I mean, my daughter knows how to work a cell phone and an iPad and all those kind of things better than I do. Like, she can grab my cell phone and do things with it that I didn't know I could do with it. And so it's just one of those things where they're just going to grow up in a different era and age where, we were joking before about, cassette tapes and having, to make, if you wanted to make a mixtape for the girl you liked, you had to wait for the right song to come on the radio and hit the play and record button at the same time real quick and hope the DJ didn't break into the song. But just things like that, I mean, my daughter will never have to, she'll never have to go, with understanding that she can only go like 10 feet away from the phone because it's on a cord kind of stuff. So there's those kind of things. Definitely. I think that, looking back, they're like awesome experiences from my childhood, but my daughter will look at things like a corded phone and, say, what is that?
Right. Oh my gosh. So as you all know, Shae is expecting, and, what kind of advice could you all give him he's having a girl, Quinny the Pooh.
Quinny the Pooh.
Yeah.
Any thoughts?
No, I mean, I think the initial one that I always kind of talk to first-time fathers about was just being present with your children. I mean, I think you talk about this fast-paced era that we're living in today, where you can get work emails. You can be checking work emails all the way till midnight if you wanted to, and you could be checking social media all the time and all those things. But I think the biggest thing for me was learning to put everything aside for those moments that I want to be with her and play with her on the floor or watch a movie with her or something, and just truly being present in the moment. Because, gosh, I remember when she was born, and it feels like fast forward, and she's already 5 going off to elementary school kind of thing. So time flies. So just be present and appreciate the moments you have with them.
No, yeah, that's perfect.
Yeah, I'd add to that. Be kind on yourself as well, because you're going to want to do your best you can for that child anyway. That's who you are, my friend. And you built yourself a business, and if you can do that, you can do anything. And actually, this little thing is going to come to you without a manual, and you just got to trust yourself. And I guess the thing is, you'll find your own way that works. Do it your own way, and just work as a team with your partner, because lack of sleep can be tough. And being on the same team is the most important thing.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Shae, what are you thinking?
Yeah, I love that. I actually always think back to my wife reads a lot of Brené Brown, and we watch some of her stuff on Netflix, and there's this part where she, in my mind, I always had this preconceived notion of like, when I have a kid, I'll be ready, like I'll be done. done growing or something, you know what I mean? Just like this perfect person or something. And then it was like, I was talking with my wife and she said, well, in this book, she explains how we're never really done growing, learning, evolving. And you just continue that journey, but with kids, and being mindful, being there. And Ryan and I actually had a conversation, just a chat, just caught up one day. And I still think back to that conversation. I was just nervous about the entire life change. And he's like, you're going to be fine. He's like, you've done all this stuff. We've all done all this stuff. We'll continue growing and just know you're going to do a good job. And that's like very promising. So I appreciate all the advice, guys.
Promising.
Yeah. And no, I mean, I think that's interesting you talk about the growth because I think, overall, I think my daughter's probably taught me more than I'll ever teach her just about patience and, those kind of different values. I mean, I was the most impatient person in the world up until, and I still have a small lack of patience, but my daughter has taught me so much patience, especially when she hits like those 2-3-year-old years where they get very independent and they want to do things on their own and those kind of things, and you have to kind of let them work through their own problems and work through their own situations. It definitely has taught me tons of patience.
Oh my gosh. I can imagine. I mean, I'm sure that my dad would probably say the same thing. And, I have a question that I want you guys to think about. Now I just lost it. So never mind. We're going to go take a quick break and listen to some Shalimar. There it is. And we'll be right back on the Father's Day special on the Heartbeat.
You're listening to Expat Radio, beaming out across France and around the world.
Right, we're going back live to the guys this afternoon.
Welcome back to the Heartbeat.
I've just remembered very quickly. I just wanted to say, you remember the old phones that used to put your finger in and turn the thing round to dial a number?
A rotary phone?
Yeah. You see, you know big words and better than I do. And
I know.
So I'm just talking about things that we knew, but obviously our kids don't. And what happened was I got a phone call off one of these. Through one of these guys, and this guy's on the other end saying to me, "Hello, is that 7777777?" And I said, "Yeah, why? Who's that?" And he said, "Can you do me a favor? Can you dial 999 and tell him that I've got my finger stuck in 7?"
Oh my gosh, rotary phones. I don't think anybody is old enough on the call except for maybe me. I think I'm the oldest one on the call, except for you, Dave, to remember rotary phones. I know. Old people. My God.
You remember when the wheel was invented,
I remember riding my dinosaur to school, so we're old. Let's get back to this Father's Day special. We only have just maybe like 10 minutes left, and so I want to ask a couple more questions of these fine gentlemen here who all happen to be amazing fathers. I think we kind of talked about like your kids teaching you something. And so, Shae, I'm actually going to put you on the spot, and I'm going to actually ask you if you have gotten any advice from any children in your life that you have taken with you as you go.
Yeah, so my youngest brother just turned 16, so there's a pretty big age gap between him and me. And I remember a couple years after he was born, we were doing something outside, and I was getting him ready for school or something. I had to get everybody ready for school every morning after my mom passed away, so it's like I get super frustrated. So Jason was talking about patience earlier, and I remember my baby brother couldn't find his shoes one day. And I was like, ready to punch a hole in the back wall when we get ready to go to school. And then I realized, I looked at him, and he's just sitting there, just cute as could be, so innocent. Like, he's not mad or worked up or anything. He's just like, I don't know where my shoes are, And then I took a big breath in, and I just went, okay, let's just find your shoes. Like, it's not going to help if I'm angry in this situation. It doesn't help to, like, force my way through with anger. So I'm just going to take a deep breath and calm down. And that's a little bit of patience that I learned right there from my baby brother. So,
that's awesome that you're going to just take that right into fatherhood.
I hope so.
Oh, absolutely. And so I guess for Jason and Ryan, like, what is some of the best advice that you've gotten from your children or child? Either one of you could start.
Yeah. Yeah, after you, Jason, my friend. Go on.
Oh no, I was just going to say to follow up on what Shae was saying. I think it wasn't really. It's not been really like explicit advice where she's like verbalized it to me, but just the whole like everything's not. We don't have to be in a rush to complete everything and do everything. Sometimes it's just nice to be like calm down, take a second, breathe, and just live in the moment. I think there's little things that she does where like nothing else in the world seems to bother her. Nothing else in the world seems to even affect her in any way. She's just living in her moment, and whether it's on the playground or at home or anywhere. So I mean, I think the biggest thing she's taught me is live in the moment. Don't, stop worrying about what happened in the past. Stop trying to figure out what's going to happen in the future, and just kind of live in that moment. Whether it's, myself, out and about, or with her spending quality time. It's just, that's kind of one of the things she's taught me.
That's beautiful. And you can see that in some of your stories that you put on Instagram. Absolutely love it. Awesome. And Ryan, I'm sure you've got something.
Yeah, I mean, for me personally, I'm fascinated by leadership, and the greatest thing that I've been taught by my kids is just that kind of sense of what it truly means to lead. I think being a parent is one of the purest forms of leadership because it teaches you about love, sacrifice, service. I mean, you literally have to put their needs above your own sometimes, and and you've got to be vulnerable. You don't always have the answers. You have to learn what works. You have to help them grow. And what Jason said around patience, that's something I've really had to kind of work on, and it's really broadened my perspective on what it truly means to lead. And I like to kind of have this sense in our family of we are Hartleys, and the sense of kind of what's important in our values. And one day Corey was putting his shoes on before school, and he asked me for help, and I said, "Bud, you can do your shoes up. You're 6 now. You can do your shoes up." And he said, "Dad, we're Hartleys and we help people." I just thought in that moment he's playing back to me. He's almost leading and playing out our values. And I just think that as a lesson shows how important it is to have a real sense of what's important, family identity, and for a 6-year-old to bravely challenge his dad in a way that says values-based leadership. Like some grown leaders I know don't know how to do values-based leadership, and there he is holding me to account for what we are supposed to do. I just thought, wow, that's massively, massively powerful.
Yeah, well, that's awesome. You've taught him well. That's so brilliant. He sees the way that you lead, and he wants to be the same kind of leader. I can see that in him. That is so brilliant. And so, before we run out of time, I want to make sure that people, you all, besides fathers, you all have businesses and things that you want to promote. And so I want to give a little bit of space to, have everyone share with us, how they can follow you and how you can, get a hold of you. And so, Ryan, would you give us your details?
Yeah, sure. I mean, I'm not going to promote. I think if you like kind of what I speak about, then come and connect with me, have a conversation with me. It's Ryan B. Hartley on Instagram, ryanhartley.co.uk. Passionate about leadership, passionate about people development, and if that's something you're equally passionate about too, let's connect and have a conversation.
Awesome. And Shae, you have a gym that's awesome in Hastings, Nebraska.
Yes, it's Enlightened Athlete. It's a full-fledged strength and conditioning facility. We do some personal training and group classes. We do nutrition stuff. And then we do some online content as well with the Enlightened Athlete media side. So we're on Instagram and Facebook. I always answer all DMs. I get a bunch of questions about health and wellness, but we also kind of dial in on the the mental, emotional, spiritual side of things as well. So I love to talk any and all things like that. So find us on those platforms.
Awesome. And Jason?
Yeah, so Instagram's pretty much the one way everybody kind of follows me, and my Instagram handle's at @jfloydwood. And like everybody else, I don't want to really promote per se, but I do enjoy like putting my story out there. I've had a lot of things happen to me, everything from being in the military, being diagnosed with PTSD, all those kind of things. So I'm fairly transparent in my postings on Instagram. I don't try to be the guy that, posts all the good stuff. There's bad stuff, and I think people need to understand that.
Amen.
And so yeah, I mean, reach out to me on Instagram. I'll talk about anything from fun obstacle course racing tips and training and all that kind of fun stuff, all the way to, how I help kind of overcome, some of the depression, anxiety, PTSD, those kind of things. Well, not really overcome it, but deal with it better and move on with life. Yep.
Right. Awesome. Thank you. And just so you all know, Jason's going to come back with me in a couple of weeks and co-host with me. I'm bringing on one of my dear friends, Patrick Van Horn, who is a Marine veteran, and we're going to have an awesome conversation. So look for that coming up. And so this Father's Day special has been super awesome for me. And any last advice for dads out there? We have over 84,000 people listening, so now is your time. If anyone wants to say something, I would love it if you had a closing remark or some advice. Don't all talk at one time.
I think being a parent is a gift. Not everybody is privileged to become a parent. And I think for me, take that responsibility seriously, but also lightheartedly, and be present and have fun. Enjoy it. It's a blessing to be so impactful in a young person's life, and just make the most of every moment.
Awesome. Thank you, Ryan.
Yeah,
Anyone else?
It's exactly what Ryan was just saying. It's be present, have fun with it. I think what we talked about earlier. There's no book. There's no right way to do it per se, but it's going to be the greatest time of your life. I can promise you that.
Awesome. Shae, I'm so excited for you.
Thank you. I'm excited too.
Can't wait to see pictures of all this. Dave, any parting words as a dad?
Yeah, well, I'm in therapy a week on Thursday for it, so I'm...
Sometimes daughters will do that to dads.
Yeah, well, what I've found is that if you go to the vets, they'll give you the veterinary clinic. They'll give you an injection once a week, and it basically works. It calms you down, but the side effects from it are a bit crazy. So the thing is, make sure that you always put your clothes up on a coat hanger, because what I find is I cut my leg all the time before I even get in the bedroom. I'm peeing everywhere, which I've got to stop. So.
Oh my gosh. Well, this has been awesome. we couldn't do it without all the laughter and the heart. And so thank you all for joining me today. And we have one last special song, Ollie Murs, Army of Two. And Dave says it's for you, Jason.
Thank you, brother.
Quality. Thanks a lot, guys, for being on today. Brilliant show. Great stuff.
Chat with y'all later.
Take care, Rob.
Cheers now. Bye.
Thanks.